All right, guys, this is the last part of the podcast or the video. If you guys are listening to this on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, you guys know what's up. We're actually going to finish it off with a last little segment. I believe we're going to be doing Q&As, guys, just rapid fire to finish off the entire week, Monday through Friday. Finish it off on Saturdays when you're watching this on YouTube with kind of a fun Q&A, but also delivering some value with young Titan and David. So on Instagram, you guys know what's up. I ask you some questions, or I should say you ask me questions, and I'm just going to bang them out here. So let's go. All right, guys, first question. This is, I'm not going to say by who. Hey, David, I'm a useless man. How can I shouldn't laugh. Hey, David, I'm useless as a man. How can I take back control of my life? I feel so confused. What do you think, Titan? How are you going to help this guy? What's the first step?
The first step would be, as everything, right? And I'm sure he watches you. That's why he's commenting on your thing. The first step would be an analysis. And a lot of people get in this position. They think, oh, I'm useless and I need to watch more YouTube videos and read more books. You have enough, dude. If you're on the internet and you have Instagram Reels and you have David's YouTube, and I know you've been watching other people, you have enough to conduct the kind of analysis you need. You need to figure out why that is, right? And people like David will give it to you most of the time, and it's in your head. Well, you know deep down why that is. Once you figure that out, like we said before, momentum, speed. You need to start outrunning these things that keep you down and just action. So a great first step, like we said earlier, start working out in the gym every day, 5 days a week, right? Get on a program, start working out, powerlifting, bodybuilding, whatever you want to do. And then second is start working on what's in front of you as far as just entrepreneurship wise. If you have a job, take 1 hour a day and write or make YouTube videos or something that's directly in front of you. And yeah, man, just action steps, action. That's all I can give you on that.
Good. Yeah, as far as me, I'm useless as a man. How can I take back control of my life? I feel so confused. So Titan kind of gave you what I was going to say. That's do what's in front of you guys. Begin to take steps. Jump off the cliff. That's kind of a given. Jump off the cliff. Start. But here's what comes before that. You need to bring back judgment to your life. You need to judge yourself harder. And there's no better way of judging yourself harder than learning what it is to be like Christ. Because you'll realize, wow, I'm a loser. I'm a sinner, man. I'm dirt. I'm literally just dust compared to him. And when we bring back judgment, or in Proverbs they say the fear of the Lord is the beginning of all wisdom. When you bring this back, bro, you're naturally going to do more. I truly believe the reason men are so lazy in our society and we're all complacent and fat, and I say this to all of us, myself included, is because there's no judgment, right? I'll read like TikTok posts and it's kind of funny when there's like some weird guy doing something. They'll say, bring back bullying. And that's so true, guys. Like, I'm not saying, like, ever hurt somebody, but, like, we need to bring back forms of judgment because that's how we auto-regulate our society. If there's no judgment, what is there? Fat acceptance, this acceptance, be lazy, be fat, be broke. It's okay to be a useless man. No, it's not, dude. And the reality is, the way to bring this back, judgment, is to have fathers. That's what fathers do. They straighten us up. They say, hey, Titan, you're slacking on this, A, B, C, D. Hey, David, you got to auto-check yourself, man. You're going a little too hard with this, or you're not going hard enough with this. So it's bringing back fathers, and if you don't have a father, then learn what it is to be like Christ, because he's the ultimate father, and he will set you straight and say, hey, buddy, you know, you're saying you're useless? Well, then you're going to hell. What do you expect? You think life is a free ride? You think you just get to be useless? No, that's not how life works, okay? Sloth and gluttony are two of the biggest deadly sins. Sloth, being lazy. You cannot be lazy as a man. Otherwise, when you're on judgment day, and if you don't believe in God, well, that's why you're lazy. I truly believe all atheists are lazy. You didn't even come up with atheism. You just followed whatever these guys said, and you took it on as your own.
It's the easiest.
Right? I was watching. Yeah, it's the easiest solution. Atheists are lazy. You just think, oh, you know, this one guy said it, I'll do it. As a Christian, I have to study everything. I have to study atheism. I have to study secularism. I have to study Christianity. I have to study Islam. I have to study Hinduism. I have to figure out what ideology works and why they work or why they don't work. I can't just say, oh, you know, this one Richard Dawkins guy said this, I'm going to just do that. That's lazy. Don't be lazy, okay? Next one.
A little thing to add there, too. Before in the comments, we get this. Christianity does not command you not to judge. It commands you not to judge hypocritically, not to judge in hypocrisy, right? To judge righteously. So if you have friends, and I had a debate with someone about this the other day, someone in my family actually, but if you have friends and you see that they're messing up, and because you would want this from your friends, you want your friends to say, hey man, what are you doing? Like, stop doing that. Get your stuff together. You should be doing that for your friends. You don't have to come at them aggressively, like, you're a piece of shit. What are you doing? But, you know, say, hey, man, I see you've been doing this, you know. I think you would see major improvement in your life if you stopped jerking off and went to the gym. And just being a little bit of a helping hand, but in a judgmental way, because that's what's really going to get like hit him in the face. Wow, whoa, friend just did that to me. Maybe I should get my shit together.
Yeah, well said, guys. Yeah, to finish it off here, we'll probably just answer a couple questions. A good few answers. Yeah, John 7:24. Do not judge by appearances, but judge with righteous judgment. As Christians, we're commanded to judge. And I was with my other young guy friends. Titan's kind of like, I say, he's like my fourth son. I was with the other three the other day yesterday at the gym, and one of them, the first guy in command, his name's Logan. He's like the one who I kind of like help the most. He auto-corrected one of his friends, and I didn't have to do it for him. He just did it for him, and he called me out. He was like, yo, like, we were all there to vlog, get real shots, film, photo, video, and the one guy wasn't doing anything. He was half-assing it, and Logan was like, he told him straight. He was like, buddy, like, you say you want to go viral, like, it ain't happening. It's not happening. Look at you. And the other guy was kind of bummed out, and I talked to the other guy afterwards. That's actually what my next vlog's about. And he was like, he was right. He was right. He took it like a champ. He was like, I was upset, but no, he's true, man. I have to do that. And that's and they're best friends. That's kind of where I'm going with it. Like, they're best friends. That's love, guys. It's not always easy, myself included, but that is love. And that's what we need in our society. We don't need more fat acceptance and more, it's okay, be a useless man like you. And this is why a lot of you guys like me and hate me, because like I say it as it is. I say like, no, you'll go to hell. What else do you want me to tell you? That's the most loving thing I can tell you, right? A lot of Muslims will get mad at me. They're like, how dare you say it? It's like, well, the worst thing I could do is just let you live in sin and let you do that. If I know certain truths, and I've studied both religions and I've come to conclusions with things, the most loving thing I can tell you is that. That's what it means to love thy neighbor, just to finish it there. A lot of people think it means, just accept them for who they are. No, to love thy neighbor means their house is burning down, they're going in hell, this false ideology, and you bang on the door and say, buddy, I love you, this is not going to work. Okay, but we cannot do it hypocritically. They say we have to first take out the log out of our own eye before we judge the speck in someone else's eye. All right, boom. Let's answer maybe one or two more questions, okay? This guy says, changing religions is a sin, Muslim into a Christian or Christian into Muslim. So what I was just saying beforehand. Yes, if you are a Christian, there is no, you can do whatever you want, right? Earlier in the video, in the podcast, we were saying there's a difference between a religion and a relationship. Christianity is not a religion, it's a relationship. There's no gun to your head. You can do whatever you want. If you want to unfollow Christ, if you want to go do whatever, fine. I mean, do whatever you want, right? I'm not saying it's going to end well for you, but do whatever you want. Where with Islam, it is a religion. It's kind of like a slave versus, servant mentality. Like, you have to do certain things, and you can say, we do it because we want to. I don't know. You can debate that for yourself. That's fine. But where I'm going with this is, yes, in Islam, if you change, again, this is from the book, so not all places are going to believe this or going to actually apply this, but in certain Muslim countries like Afghanistan, Pakistan, etc., from what I know, yes, this is apostasy. And if you change religion away from Islam, you are commanded to be put to death. So you guys can get upset at me for saying this. When I said this in the Andrew Tate video, a lot of people got upset. I'm just reading your own book. So, hey, hate me or love me, I don't really care. But I do think you should know this. This is why the majority of Muslims do not change, because your family will disown you, and depending on where you're at, you can search this up, guys. Apostasy is a very real thing. You guys think it's fake because you live in Canada or the US. They count all blessings, buddy, because in a lot of places in the world, that's not the reality. Where, again, with Christianity, no, you can do whatever you want, and you can think, hey, but David, that's why, it's a good thing for Islam. I don't think anytime there's a gun to your head, that's a good relationship, personally. Like, if your girlfriend is only staying with you because you're forcing her to stay with you, I don't think she actually loves you. I think a girlfriend who actually loves you, or friends who actually love you, do so because they genuinely respect you. And that's why I believe Christ is the ultimate solution. Because I can leave whenever I want, but I choose to stay because I know he's the way, the truth, and the life. So if you don't have anything to say on that, Titan, that's fine.
It was good.
Good?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, good. We'll answer a couple more then. All right. Next one. Bada boom. How should women go about choosing men? And how to do it without looking needy. So let's just say, how should women go about choosing men? What would you say, Titan?
It's interesting. Well, number one, don't take birth control.
Shots fired.
Well, we're almost in a lot of cages there. But number one, don't take birth control. Follow Carnivore Aurelius and eat liver.
Yeah. Why though? Why is that? What's the psychology behind it? Because that's actually very important. That's a big thing.
So it's the same reason why a lot of, if you don't know what trenbolone is, it's a steroid that's like very popular among the fitness influencer kind of thing. And a lot of people, there's like a whole Reddit on this, and guys will take tren and then turn like gay and develop weird sexual fetishes. but you shouldn't be taking exogenous hormones. I don't even think you should. If you take any steroid ever, it would be like testosterone. That's it. But exogenous hormones in general are bad because they literally change what you're attracted to. Your attraction works off hormones. Everything works off hormones, right? Like you wanting to do something is driven by dopamine. Everything's driven by dopamine, right? What makes you want to accomplish certain tasks is dopamine. And what drives your sexual drive is hormones like estrogen and testosterone. So number one, don't mess with those. Number two, though, and this is funny because I'm gonna speak more on girls my age. And David's, we're pretty similar ages, just younger women. Is have a more long-term view on your partners, right? Because right now you might have the toss-up between one guy and he's got a business that's just starting, but he is long-term. He's a great guy and he has great plans, but it's not there yet. It's not there yet. He's going to take time to develop. And then you have the drug dealer who's a piece of shit, but he's got $100,000 now, which, you know what I mean? Weigh your options based on long-term. That's what I'd say to young women. Good characteristics, right? Like following Christ, having his head in the right place, not always out partying, drinking, all that stuff. Live more on long-term. That's what I'd say.
Right. Yeah, great. And just to kind of reiterate on that. So the thing with birth control, and again, I'm not an expert in hormones, et cetera, but from what I know, the reason it's such an important thing, and I think why Tide said is because women will be attracted in literally different men. Like when a woman is on birth control, she's attracted to beta men. That's the whole thing. So when they get off birth control, and a lot of women come out and say this, they look at their boyfriend and they're like, you some beta ass boy, I don't want to be with you. Like this is the dude I've been with my whole life. And they're actually more in tune with their natural estrogen. They're more in tune with their natural hormones, which are attracted to masculine men. I truly believe this is why all the LGBTQ and like the trans activists and the politically correct people, I mean, of course they're all attracted to feminine men. 99% of them are on birth control. Why is it that the conservative, usually God-fearing, right, biblically sound people, of course they wouldn't touch birth control, and they're all attracted to conservative men? That's it's kind of like a meme right now, but that's such a popular TikTok going around. Liberal women can't find any conservative men, or they're like, they're saying, why can't I find any attractive liberal men? Well, it's because it doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. I'm sorry to put it to you guys. In the very beginning of this podcast, we were saying that men who work out, and this is all statistic, have a much higher chance of being conservative. Why do you think that is? Because if I'm going to the gym, putting in all these hours, buying groceries and meal prepping, that action in and of itself is much more conservative. It's doing it for a reason. And again, I'm not going to get too political because you guys will notice the weaponized words, right? What does being the word liberal means? To liberate. To be a liberal is to liberate, is to move forward, to be a progressive liberal, to liberate people together and move forward with new ideas. But that's not what liberals do, guys. So don't use the word like liberal as like, oh, that's actually what's happening. No, I mean, it's not, Again, that's a completely different topic. We're not going to go into terminology and stuff, but
I would say conservatives, like all of their actions usually align with long-term objectives and more, I guess, what would be called liberal now. But if you really think about it, it's very backwards. But what would be called liberal now, liberal people, it's all like short-term pleasure. Like,
right.
I want to have sex with this person, so I'm going to have sex with this person, no matter what. Yada, yada. I'll eat the chips right now. Eat the ice cream right now. Yeah. And that's why they look the way they look. And that, it's long-term versus short-term. It's delayed gratification.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's very, now that I think about it, that's great. So if you're a liberal, you're a short term. If you're a conservative, you're long term. I like that. Not always, but 99.99999% of times. I've not met a based liberal personally. Man, I just haven't. Anyways, let's answer like one or two more. Okay. I listen because you defy modern logic. Why does it matter to you personally that men step up? What do you think? Why does it matter, Tyden?
Because right now we're living in the spoils of men that did step up, and that's why we have the opportunity to not step up. And men stepping up is on a societal level. And I'm actually like scared for when our generations are in charge of everything and are like the adults and the old people. I have no idea how that's going to turn out. Men stepping up is always on a societal level. Yes, you do it for you do it for your families, right? For the prosperity of your inner circle. But it's also the prosperity of society. And like David always says, the West was built on Christianity. Why is that? Yep. Is that because God was influencing people to build the West. No, it doesn't even matter if Christianity was real. It's the principles of it. It's the fact that you have to step up and live a certain way and have morals and have obligations and be disciplined.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Yeah, so I listened to you because you defy modern logic. I mean, it's funny because I don't actually defy logic at all. This is logic. Modernity defies logic. A man is a woman is a man, color your hair this way, get on birth control that screws up your hormones. That's not logic. So being conservative, the more I read the Bible, the more I realize how logical it actually is. Guys, a lot of you resonate with me because, you know, I sound good on paper, and maybe some of you don't think that, but it's because the more I follow Christ, the more I realize why certain sins are sins. Like sex outside marriage is kind of a side tangent. And don't get me wrong, guys, I did this. I was in a relationship for 5 years, so I'm not going to cast stones. But the reason I believe this now is because so many men that have sex before, marrying this woman, they make horrible decisions. Every person, every client I've spoken to, the young guys I look to right now, the majority of men that fall off their purpose, and there are guys very close to me that are doing this right now, it's very sad. The majority of men that fall off their purpose, the reason they fall off their purpose is because they're fornicating outside of marriage. That is the reason. And it's funny because I see these men beforehand, let's say they're powerlifting buddies or entrepreneurship friends, and they're on fire. They're going all in and they're single, right? But then the second they find this woman, or Satan throws you a Jezebel. And this is very big in the Bible too. I believe this is in Proverbs. It says, do not cast your energy upon women. That ruins kings. Something along those lines. You think of Samson and Delilah. You think of even King David, right? And that was my fault. I fornicated because I was lusting over a woman, hypothetically or supposedly in a bathtub. But that's in the Old Testament. Anyways, where I'm going with this is these men were on fire. But the second Satan threw them, that Jezebel, hey, take it, right? Which is why it's so important to vet, which we've made videos on or we will in the future, is because now that my buddies or these guys are fornicating, guess what? Now they're not at the gym. They're not training with me. They were supposed, and he doesn't watch my channel, but he was supposed to come with us yesterday. Didn't come. Now he's sick. He caught a cold because you're busting too many nuts, buddy. It's not what your chick wants either. Okay, that is the reason, and it makes so much sense. So when I look at it on paper, like don't have sex outside marriage, you're like, oh well, that's not fun. Like God's trying to ruin me. He's actually trying to protect you. The reason I'm so productive and you're saying, oh, you defy modern logic. Well, a big reason is because I'm not wasting my nuts on random chicks. You're vetting for a godly woman. So do you have any last thing to say on that, Titan? We're going to answer one more question after this.
Yeah, just be conscious about your energy. Because like we were talking about earlier, things take your energy that you're not even aware that they're using you. Things are taking you. They're draining your energy. Everything, this is more like new age looking at it like that, but everything's an energy exchange, right? And at the end of the day, you're giving energy and you're taking energy. That's how food works, and that's how the content you consume, like the movies you watch, the videos you watch, and also the actions you engage in. So yeah, just be conscious of where you're giving your energy and who you're giving the control of your energy to.
Yep. Absolutely. All right, last question, guys. We're going to wrap up Saturday's video with the Q&A, and we'll do it all over again. We'll see you guys next week because make no mistake, guys, this is the new way forwards, and I'm very excited for what Titan and I are doing because I have not found a channel who's done this, who has this wisdom, this level of charisma, this level of good-looking men. Haven't found it myself personally, so we're going to be those guys. Anyways, last one, all right? Where is it? Very practical. What's the best way to overcome a breakup? You're a young man, Titan. You're 18. I'm sure you've had some relationships. You're more in the thick of this than I am. I'm a little bit older. So you tell him, man, what's the best way to get over a breakup?
Yeah. Don't do what I did. Don't do the popular thing right now, which is like the villain arc, right? I'm on my villain arc, and don't pull all of your energy out of anger, because that will be depleted eventually. And when it is depleted, you're like, what do I do now? Learn from it. Learn from your mistakes. Don't let emotion consume you. That's what happened to me. I was consumed by emotion. I went to the gym and I got huge, but it was out of like anger and emotion. It wasn't out of logic. And then once I got over it, I don't really care about this girl anymore. I was like, oh shit, what do I do now? Because I had built my house on sand, right? Yep. And so yeah, be logical about it, learn from it, and just the main thing is be conscious of your emotion. Don't let emotion consume you. That's like, if someone wrongs you in a relationship and you guys break up, and then you're like, oh, I'm on my villain arc and I'm angry and all that stuff in the gym, you're still letting them win. and you guys have
Yeah.
broken up, and they're still like messing with you to this day. So just don't get overconsumed by emotion. That's my biggest lesson I've learned.
Yeah, that's fact. Yeah, it's almost funny too because the red pill guys, what they'll say is, I don't know, oh, she did this, go cheat on more women or go do this. But the reality is you're actually being very feminine by doing that. Kind of like what Tyden was saying. You're still living rent-free in your head. You're still making your choices out of that emotion. That's what women do. Men make choices out of logic. Now, I'm not saying you're not going to be emotional. When my girlfriend left me, there were times where I was a little upset. I'm like, you know what? Like, I was with you for like on paper, guys, if anyone should be mad, it should be me. I was with her for 5 years. I was planning on marrying her. And out of nowhere, she just said, peace. 5 years. Not no 2-month relationship, 1 year, 5 years, right? And you know what happened? I'm going to give you kind of a spiritual perspective. I truly believe, guys, God's in control. I mean, I don't believe, I know this. God's in control of everything. And when she broke up with me, so easily I could have been like flustered and flabbergasted. But number one, the relationship was already kind of coming to an end. So I was like, you know, it's happening. But two, I decided to trust God. I put my faith in him, and my life went right. Now, maybe on paper, some people would think I'm kind of a loser because, like, I don't know, I don't have a girlfriend, or I'm not out there spinning plates and things. But I mean, you think of the business, you think of my connection with Christ. I'm speaking with like-minded individuals. I've never felt more based and purposeful as a man than ever before, guys. And it's only been a year since she left me. And where I'm going with this, guys, is when you can put your faith in Christ, right? That's literally what I did. As my testimony, just to finish it here with you guys, is I was with my girlfriend, right? I was kind of a lukewarm Christian at that point. She broke up with me, and I said, hey, God, I don't know what you want from me, but I have a feeling you want me to keep going down this path. Just guide me. I did that. I accepted Christ. Literally like those days after. And my whole, everything changed. And it's only the beginning. So please, guys, don't look at it so black and white where it's like, girlfriend left me, I'm bad, loser. You got to grow up, okay, guys? Like, God has bigger plans, and sometimes we can't see it from a micro perspective. But if you can trust the process, and again, Matthew 6:33, first seek the kingdom of God. No matter what, whether you're single, relationship, married, I don't care. Seek the kingdom of God and all this righteousness, and all these things will be added to you. That's exactly what I did. I promise you, you are going to be in such a better situation than chasing merely material things. Boom. So I'm going to finish it there because my camera's starting to blink red. So that is that. Tyden, do you have any last words to say on this Q&A video?
Yeah,
Quick
again,
words.
just don't get emotional and don't act out of like trying to get back at someone. Again, that's very feminine. It's like, after my breakup, I lived my life and like I destroyed myself, like this girl, trying to, that's like revenge, or like, and you know, it's like, and I was still letting her win like a year later because I was still acting out of like revenge, right? Come into the light, not the dark. That's what I'd say.
Amen. All right, guys, so that is that. If you enjoyed today's video, guys, make sure to give it a thumbs up, comment, and subscribe. Tyden's links will be down below, guys. He's going to be banging out more reels and short form content, so definitely check him out if you want to see more of his wisdom in a different light, guys. I'll finish it here with the final plug. If you guys are interested and would like to work with me on a personal level at anything of what we talked about in today's video, or this entire video as a whole, guys, or on a more practical level, improving things like your fitness, business, mindset, and relationships, there is always one-on-one coaching, guys. Spots are open, and I love speaking with you on a more personal level. First link below, that is that. You can support Edge, coupon code developed, and we'll check you guys in the next podcast, all right? Tyden saying peace in prayer. We'll check you guys next video. Till then, much love. Peace.